Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we will be doing a cold and dark startup tutorial for the Captain Sim Boeing 717. There isn't a lot of information that I found online about this aircraft, and it seems rather unpopular for some reason. I don't know why, because I've been flying it the last several days, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And it looks great, and it just works. It flies and does everything it's supposed to do. Okay, so not a bad plane at all. And I know it did have some updates too, like quite a few after it was released. All right. So we are at Bangkok International Airport right now, and appropriate livery. And don't you just like this livery? This is so cool. Okay, all right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and climb in the cockpit, and I will show you really quick how to get this aircraft started. And I did notice something about this Bangkok International Airport. It seems like some of the jetways were kind of weird at first. Like back there, you can see by the red plane, some of them were going into the cockpits and stuff. Like, I don't know what was going on with that. But right here behind me, you see, it's not about this particular plane. It's just a bunch of planes here. So, yeah, something weird going on there. But anyway, let's go ahead now, and I'm going to show you exactly how to start this aircraft. First thing you do when you climb in the cockpit, just go ahead and put your battery and your external power on. Okay? There is a checklist, and you can follow it if you want, but I think it left a few things out, a few critical things. But other than that, it covered most of what you need to know to start it up. All right, so that's what you need to do here, and then since you're on this section, you can put your generators on left, APU generator on, and right engine generator on. Okay, so that right there is complete. Everything here is done now. Okay. So while we are at it, let's step over right here and put the nav on. Okay, if you don't put that on, these will stay like this. Okay, so if you do see this on when you're coming, like what's going on, make sure you put your switches up here to nav. Okay, all right, so that's done. Now let's go down to this section right here, and we will put these left and right packs on, and we will put the bleed left and right on auto. And this, I think you can leave it on open or put it, well, it starts at close, so you can either go open or auto. I'm just going to put that on auto, okay? Now, right here is just, windshield, things like that, and engine left and right, anti-ice, okay? And then you step down to fuel and put all your fuel pumps on, all right? 6, right there, okay? And that looks good. Now, what you want to do now is come right over here. Now I'm going to show you something that I kept forgetting to turn on, and I wasn't able to start my engines, and it happened a bunch of times, and I kept on trying to figure out what am I doing wrong. This start pump is APU start pump switch. Put that on, okay? Because if you don't put that on, your APU, it won't start, and you will not be able to start this aircraft. You'll turn these switches on, they will not light up, they'll do nothing, okay? So there you go, turn that on, all right? Now that is done, let's turn our APU bleed on, and we are going to hold the APU master switch in start position for about 2 or 3 seconds. Okay? Now, I'm waiting for the APU to light up here, and when that happens, this will say available, and the APU, you should hear it coming on. There you go, APU lit up. Okay, both lights there, and now you're going to see this come available shortly. Available. Now you're going to hear the APU starting. Hear it? Okay, so your APU is starting up now. All right. Can open our window up too. How about that? Ain't that cool? All right, yeah. So APU is started. Okay. It sounds like it's stabilized just about. And this switch is back on run. So you hold it to start for 2 seconds and it'll come back up to run. All right, so right here, ignition, auto, and on. Now, if you look at the checklist, if you're following the checklist, just beware that it's going to say something, starting engine. Right here, this switch is a little different. It's right here, basically. There's nothing where you set it to ignition other than right here. This is your ignition switch, okay? So, if you leave it on auto and start it, it will start, but your N2 will only go to about 25%, and then if you switch it on, it'll do the rest. So you can do it like that if you want, but I'm just going to set this ignition to on right now. And these two switches, I don't turn those on. You can if you want. I don't know what it really does totally. All right, so there we go. So now the next thing we need to do is the fuel crossfeed. You can put this on or off. I think either way is fine, but I've been putting it on. Okay, so now we're going to turn our fuel cutoff switches, both of them, for right engine, left engine, on. Okay, so now those engines have fuel. Okay, so now what you need to do is just turn your engine start switches on, right and start left, and notice they both light up. That means the engine's going to be starting. You got power, and let's look down here, and you will see your N2 coming alive. You see this right here? And it'll get to about 60 right here, and I think N1 will go to about 28 or something, or 25. But and then that's how you know it's stabilized, okay? Okay, you see how it's kind of spooling up here? And I flew this little airliner from LAX up to San Francisco a couple of times. Pretty good flight, and you know, I had everything set up perfectly. It was able to come and do an approach and landing almost hands off the whole way. Okay. All right. See, here we are. It's kind of going to stabilize at about 60 or so, and notice the N1 at 23, I think is 25 or 23. There you go. So your engines are now started fully. So all you really need to do after that is turn off your APU bleed air switch and your master APU. And right here, turn this off. Okay. It's no longer needed. All right. Now, external power, you can also power that off too at this time. All right. And right here, your start pump, you can turn this off, and you can put your ignition on auto at this point too. All right. So there you have it. That is all there is to starting up the Boeing 717 in Flight Sim 2024. I'm sure it's the same way in 2020 as well. You know, sure it is. So yeah, it would be, you know, ready to taxi at this point if you have your baggage on board and your passengers on, things like that. Alright, so I hope you all found this video helpful, and I will probably do a video where we're going to take off and land, do an approach and everything. I'll set up the whole aircraft and we'll see how it works, and I'll show you how that it works pretty good. Okay, so that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and until next time, bye for now.